The giant ship hung silently above Earth. Inside, blue lights lit up the smooth metal walls. Two Nerek aliens stood looking at screens showing the blue and green planet below. "Fascinating," said June, touching his long fingers to the screen. His gray skin reflected the blue light as he zoomed in on a city. "These humans build tall structures, but their technology is still so basic." Commander Hannah moved closer, her tall form casting a shadow over June's workspace. Unlike June's thin scientific frame, Hannah's body was built for battle. The markings on her uniform showed her high rank. "Are they a threat?" she asked simply. June shook his head. "Their weapons use chemical explosions and basic metals. Nothing that could harm our ships." He pulled up more images. "They fight each other constantly. They are divided into many groups with different leaders." Hannah nodded, pleased. "Perfect. The High Command wants this star system. Earth sits at an important travel point between three of our colonies. There is something interesting about them," Jun said, playing a video of humans responding to a natural disaster. "They adapt quickly. When faced with problems, they work together in surprising ways." Hannah laughed. "All species say that about themselves before we conquer them." She walked to the main command center where 20 other Nerek officers worked at their stations. The room was a perfect circle with a large hologram of Earth floating in the middle. "Report," she ordered. An officer named Q looked up from his screen. "We have mapped all their major weapon locations. Their technology is 200 years behind ours. They have no unified defense system. Their largest weapons could not even reach our ships in orbit." "What about their numbers?" Hannah asked. "Nearly 8 billion, Q replied. "But most have no military training. Their forces are small compared to their population." June had followed Hannah into the room. "Commander, I think we should study them longer. There are signs that—" "We have studied enough," Hannah cut him off. "The High Command wants this planet secured in 1 year. Its resources are valuable, and its position is perfect for our expansion." She touched a button, bringing up a new hologram showing the planned attack. Red dots appeared over major cities and military bases around the planet. "We will follow standard conquest protocol," she announced. "First wave takes out their command centers and communication networks. Second wave targets their military bases. Third wave establishes control points in major population centers." The officers nodded in agreement. "What about survivors?" asked June, his voice quiet but firm. "Those who surrender will be put to work," Hannah said coldly. "Those who resist will be eliminated. Standard procedure." June looked again at the screen showing human cities full of people going about their daily lives, unaware of what was coming. "I have observed something unusual in their historical records," he said. "When these humans are pushed to their limits, they become extremely dangerous. They have overcome superior forces through unexpected means many times in their history." Hannah sighed, tired of the scientists' concerns. "All species fight back, June. None have ever beaten us." She turned to her crew. "Prepare all ships for attack formation. We begin at dawn, local Earth time." As the crew rushed to prepare, Jun returned to his station. He looked at the images of humans again. Something about them made him uneasy. He had studied many species before conquest, but something about these humans was different. "I hope you're right, Commander," he whispered to himself. "For all our sakes." On the bridge, Hannah sent the final attack orders to the fleet of 500 ships, now moving into position around Earth. The invasion of Earth was about to begin, and the Nerek had no idea what they were about to unleash. Ta looked up at the morning sky over Seoul and froze. Strange dark shapes were moving through the clouds. Not planes, not birds, something else. "Do you see that?" he asked the few people around him on the street. They all stopped and looked up. Then the first blast hit. A building 2 blocks away exploded in bright blue light. The sound came a second later, not like a bomb, but like the air itself was being torn apart. Tai didn't think. He ran. 10 years in the military had taught him when to fight and when to move. This was time to move. All around him, people were screaming. More blasts hit the city. Blue beams of light cut through buildings like they were made of paper. Todd ducked into an alley as pieces of glass and concrete rained down. His phone buzzed. No signal, but emergency alerts were still working. Unknown ATTCK on major cities worldwide. CKHELT or NMEDATLI. Worldwide. This wasn't just Seoul. Tai felt cold fear in his stomach. This was something bigger than anything he had trained for. He needed to get somewhere safe. The university was closest. It had underground labs. He had helped design some of their power systems after leaving the military to become an engineer. The streets were chaos. Cars crashed into each other. People ran in all directions. Above, more strange ships appeared. Some were small and fast. Others were huge, blocking out the sun. Tai ran for 20 minutes, avoiding main streets. When he reached the university, parts of it were already destroyed. The main building was smoking, but the science wing looked untouched. He found the door to the basement labs and used his old access code. It still worked. Inside, emergency lights lit the hallway. He heard noises from one of the labs. "Hello," he called out. "Is someone there?" A young woman appeared, holding a metal pipe as a weapon. When she saw Todd wasn't a threat, she lowered it. "I'm Mina," she said. "I was working late when it started. What's happening?" "I think we're being invaded," Todd said simply. The words felt strange to say. "Not by any country. I think they're not from Earth." Mina nodded, surprisingly calm. "I saw one of their ships up close before it destroyed the main building. Definitely not our technology." "We need to get somewhere safer," Ta said. "This building could be next." "Wait." Mina held up her hand. "I need to grab something." She ran back into the lab and returned with a small metal case and a laptop. "What's that?" Tai asked. "My research. I've been working on a new kind of energy weapon. Nothing like what those ships are using, but maybe it could help somehow." Outside, the sounds of destruction were getting closer. Ta looked at the young scientist. "I'm Ta, former military engineer. If your research might help, then we definitely need to protect it. And you." They found a service tunnel that led away from the university. As they walked through the dark passage, Ta's old military radio picked up fragments of communication. "Washington, D.C. is gone. London has fallen. Chinese forces overwhelmed in complete air superiority. They're taking out our command centers first," Ta explained to Mina. "Standard military strategy. Cut off the head, then deal with the rest." "But why? What do they want?" Mina asked. Before Tai could answer, a massive explosion shook the tunnel. Dust fell from the ceiling. They started moving faster. "They hit something big," Ta said. "Maybe the power plant." As they reached the end of the tunnel, they emerged into a world changed forever. The Seoul skyline, once filled with tall buildings, now had huge gaps where structures had been standing just hours before. Strange ships moved through the smoke-filled sky. In the distance, blue light flashed as more weapons fired. "What do we do now?" Mina asked, holding her research case tight. Ta looked at the destruction, then at the young scientist beside him. "We survive. We learn about them. And then we fight back." Above them, Commander Hannah's ship moved into position over what remained of Seoul, ready for the next phase of conquest. 3 months had passed since the Narek first attacked Earth. Winter had come to the ruins of Seoul. Todd pulled his worn jacket tighter as he moved through the shadows of destroyed buildings. He carried a bag of scavenged parts and food. He reached an old subway station and tapped a pattern on a hidden panel. A small door opened in the wall. "Password," a voice whispered. "Sunrise will come again," Tay replied. The door opened wider, and Ta slipped inside. The hidden base was busy with activity. People worked at makeshift stations, fixing weapons and radios. Maps covered the walls with markings showing Nerak positions. Mina waved to him from her work area. Over the past months, her lab had grown from a small table to an impressive setup with salvaged equipment. "Did you get the parts?" she asked. Ta nodded, handing over the bag. "Found them in a Nerak scout ship that crashed last night." "Perfect." Mina's eyes lit up as she examined the alien technology. "This might help me understand how their weapons work." A tall man with a scar across his face approached them. This was Da, a former Special Forces captain who now led their resistance cell. "Ta, good timing," Da said. "We're about to examine the Nerak we captured." They walked to a secure room where a Nerak scout was held behind a clear barrier. The alien looked similar to those Ta had glimpsed during attacks. Tall, with gray skin and 4 long fingers on each hand. Its large eyes watched them carefully. "Has it said anything?" Ta asked. "Nothing useful," Da replied. "But we've learned some things by observation. They don't like our noise." Mina stepped forward. "I've been running tests. Their hearing is much more sensitive than ours. Certain sound frequencies seem to cause them pain." She demonstrated by playing a high tone. The Nerak immediately covered its ear openings and backed away. "That could be useful," Ta said thoughtfully. Mina nodded. "I've also been studying their technology. The parts you've brought help confirm my theory. Their weapons use a form of focused energy we don't have on Earth, but the principles aren't completely alien." "Can we use any of this to fight back?" Da asked. "Maybe," Mina said. "Their communication devices operate on specific frequencies. If we can disrupt those." A young woman rushed into the room. "Da, we've made contact with another resistance group in Japan." This was big news. For months, each resistance cell had been fighting alone, unable to coordinate across countries. Da hurried to the communications room where a crackling radio was picking up a signal. After a brief exchange, he turned to the others with a hint of hope in his eyes. They found a weakness in the Nerak patrol ships, a small spot at the back where their shields are weakest. He looked at Ta. "With your engineering skills, can you design something to exploit this?" Ta nodded slowly. "I'll need more information, but it's possible." Meanwhile, in the main Nerak command ship above what was once New York City, Commander Hannah reviewed progress reports. "All major military forces have been eliminated," an officer reported. "Remaining human resistance is scattered and disorganized." "Excellent," Hannah said. "Begin Phase 3, resource extraction." June, who had been monitoring human communications, looked troubled. "Commander, I've detected an increase in coordinated attacks. The humans are adapting to our tactics faster than expected." Hannah dismissed his concerns with a wave. "Small victories will not save them. No species has ever reversed a Nerak conquest. But these humans," Joan hesitated. "They're different. They don't surrender even when defeat is certain." "Their stubbornness will only make their defeat more complete," Hannah said firmly. "Continue the operation as planned." As night fell over Earth, resistance cells like Ta's were discovering each other. Information was being shared. Weaknesses were being found. And for the first time since the invasion began, humans started to have something they had almost lost: hope. 6 months after the invasion, the old school building didn't look special from outside. Its walls were damaged like most buildings still standing. But inside, it was full of activity. Mina moved between tables covered with alien technology. Her small team of scientists worked day and night to understand Nerak weapons. She picked up what looked like a gun but had no trigger. "The power source connects here," she explained to Ta, who had just entered the room. "We've figured out how to make it work with Earth batteries." Ta nodded, impressed. "Can we make more?" "We've made 5 so far," Mina said. "Not as powerful as the original, but they work." This was a big step. Until now, humans had fought with regular guns against Nerak energy shields. It didn't work well. In another room, Dai was teaching fighters new tactics. The wall showed maps of Nerek patrol routes. They always follow the same paths, Dad explained. They think we're too weak to notice patterns. We'll set traps here, here, and here. He marked 3 spots on the map. Ta joined them. The sound weapons are ready. They won't kill the Nerek, but they'll hurt them enough to slow them down. Good, Daz said. We attack tonight. Far above Earth, in the Nerek command ship, Jun was worried. He showed Commander Hannah a screen with many small red dots. Human attacks have increased by 200% in the last month, he said, and they're getting more successful. Hannah frowned. Impossible. Their weapons can't hurt our ships. They're using our own weapons against us, Jun explained. They've taken technology from damaged ships and learned how to use it. That's not possible, Hannah said. No species has ever reverse-engineered our technology so quickly. Jun showed her a video of a recent attack. Humans were using modified Nerek weapons. They were also using sound devices that hurt Nerek soldiers. They learn fast, Jun said quietly. And they share knowledge. Different human groups all over the planet are using the same new tactics. Hannah's eyes narrowed. Increase patrols. Destroy any human technology centers we find. That night, Tai led a small team through the dark streets of Seoul. They carried the new weapons Minna had created. Their target was a Nerek supply depot. Remember, Ta whispered, aim for the joints in their armor. Use the sound weapons first to confuse them. They moved. 1 year had passed since the day the Nerek came to Earth. In that time, everything had changed. The resistance base under Seoul had grown from a small hideout to a busy underground city. Hundreds of people lived and worked there now. Minna's lab had taken over an entire subway station. Ta walked through the busy halls, nodding to people as he passed. Everyone was focused on their work. Some fixed weapons, others trained for combat. Children learned in makeshift schools. He found Minna in her lab, surrounded by strange devices that glowed with blue light. Is it ready? He asked. Minna smiled and held up a small round device. It's ready. This will shut down Nerek communications within 5 miles. Perfect timing, Ta said. Dai wants to see us. They went to the command center, where Dai stood before a large map of Asia. Red marks showed Nerek bases. Green marks showed human-resistant strongholds. A year ago, the map had been mostly red. Now, green areas were spreading. Good, you're here, Daz said when he saw them. We just got word from the American resistance. The sun rose over a changed Seoul. For the first time in over a year, no Nerek ships flew in the sky above the city. The main regional base had fallen, and humans now controlled most of South Korea. In the former Nerek base, Ta, Minna, and Dai walked through halls that until recently had been filled with alien soldiers. The walls were covered with strange writing and technology that glowed with soft blue light. "We've found something important," a resistance fighter called to them. She led them to a large room filled with screens and control panels. "It's their main communication center," Minna said, her eyes wide with excitement. "With this, we can listen to all Nerek transmissions." Ta looked at the alien technology with amazement. "Can you make it work?" Minna nodded. "Give me a day." Day turned to Ta. "We need to prepare for their response. They won't let us take this base without fighting back." "I've been thinking about that," Ta said. He rolled out a map on a nearby table. "We've learned that the Nerek always follow patterns. When they lose ground, they always counterattack in the same way. We can use that against them." Day studied the map. "What do you have in mind?" "We set traps here, here, and here." Ta pointed to locations around the city, places they'll likely attack. "We use minus communication blockers to cut them off from their command. Then we hit them from all sides." On the Nerek command ship, Commander Hannah faced a group of angry officers. The loss of the Korean base was a major blow. "This failure is unacceptable," said the highest-ranking officer. The High Command is questioning why Earth has not been conquered yet. These humans are unlike any species we faced, Hannah argued. They adapt too quickly. But I have a plan to end this resistance once and for all. She showed them images of a massive ship entering Earth's orbit. The destroyer has arrived. With its power, we can target the humans' largest resistance strongholds and wipe them out completely. June, standing quietly in the corner, looked troubled. Commander, using the destroyer on inhabited planets is against our own laws of war. These are special circumstances, Hannah snapped. The High Command has approved it. June bowed his head, but his mind was racing. The destroyer was designed to break apart small moons, not to be used against living beings. Using it on Earth would kill millions, including many Nerek troops still on the ground. As the meeting ended, June made a decision that would change the course of the war. Back on Earth, Minna had managed to activate the Nerek communication system. She called Tai and Dai to listen to what she had found. "They're planning something big," she said, her face pale. "Listen to this." She played a message that had been sent from the command ship, though in the Nerek language. Minna had learned enough to translate the important parts. "They're bringing in a ship called the Destroyer," she explained. "It can break apart entire cities with one shot. They plan to target our largest bases first, then move on to any city with suspected resistance." Tai felt cold fear grip his heart. How do we fight something like that? Before Minna could answer, a new message came through the system. This one was different. It was in broken English. "Humans, listen. I am June, science officer. Destroyer ship coming. We'll kill all. I help you stop it. Meet me." The three humans looked at each other in shock. A Nerek was offering to help them. "It could be a trap," Dai warned. "Or it could be our only chance," Tay replied. The fate of Earth now depended on whether they could trust one alien to help them defeat his own kind. The meeting place was an old farm outside Seoul. Tai, Mina, and Dae arrived first, hiding fighters in the surrounding fields. If this was a trap, they would be ready. A small Nerek shuttle landed in the empty field. A single figure stepped out, hands raised to show he carried no weapons. "That's different from the other Nerek we've seen," Minna whispered. "His uniform has science markings, not military." June walked slowly toward them. He was tall like all Nerek, but thinner, with less muscle than the soldiers they had fought. "I am June," he said in simple English, "science officer of Nerek fleet. I come to help." "Why would you help us?" Dai asked, his hand on his weapon. "The destroyer should not be used on living worlds," June explained. "It will kill millions of your people, and many Nerek still on Earth. Commander Hannah has lost her way." "How do we know this isn't a trap?" Ta demanded. June held out a small device. "This contains plans of the destroyer. Weak points, security codes. I give this freely." Minna took the device carefully. After examining it, she nodded to the others. "This looks real. It has data I can read." "The destroyer prepares to fire in 12 hours, Jun said. "It will target your largest bases first, then all major cities." "How do we stop it?" Tai asked. "You must reach the main control room," Jun explained. "I can get you aboard with these security codes, but after that, you are on your own. The weapon must be disabled from inside." Back at the resistance base, leaders from around the world joined in a video call. Dae explained the situation and the plan. "This is humanity's last chance," he told them. "While we attack the destroyer, all resistance groups worldwide need to attack Nerek bases at the same time. They won't expect a coordinated attack while their big weapon is preparing to fire." On screens around the room, resistance leaders nodded in agreement. Years of fighting together had built trust between these once separate groups. Tai led the team that would board the destroyer. 20 of their best fighters, each carrying hybrid weapons made from Earth and Nerek technology. Minna insisted on joining them. "I'm the only one who fully understands their technology," she said when Tai objected. You need me to disable the weapon." As they prepared to leave, Dai addressed all the fighters gathered in the base. "Today we fight not just for Korea, but for all humanity," he said. "No matter what happens, the Nerek picked the wrong planet to invade." The small human ship approached the massive destroyer, using the codes June had provided. On the bridge of the command ship, Commander Hannah watched the final preparations for firing the planet killer weapon. "Where is Science Officer June?" she asked suddenly. "Unknown, Commander," an officer replied. "He has not reported for duty." Hannah's suspicions grew, but before she could investigate, alarms blared throughout the ship. "Human forces are attacking Nerek bases worldwide." An officer shouted. "All at once." "Impossible," Hannah said. "They can't coordinate on that scale." More alarms sounded. "Commander, the destroyer reports a security breach. Humans have boarded." Hannah's eyes widened with rage. "June," she hissed, "send all security forces to the destroyer immediately. The weapon must fire." Inside the massive destroyer, Tad led his team through shadowy corridors. Following June's maps, they moved quickly toward the main control room. Twice they encountered Nerek guards and had to fight their way through. "We're getting close," Minna said, checking the map. "The weapon control room should be just ahead." They turned a corner and stopped. Before them stood Commander Hannah with 20 elite Nerek guards. "Did you really think you could stop us?" Hannah asked, her voice cold with hatred. "This ends now." Behind her, through a large window, they could see the planet killer weapon powering up, its core glowing with deadly energy. Earth was visible below, beautiful and blue. The final battle for humanity's survival had begun. Time seemed to stop as Tai faced Commander Hannah and her guards. Behind them, the planet killer weapon continued to power up, its light growing brighter. "Surrender now," Hannah demanded. "Your species has lost." Ta looked at his team. They were outnumbered and outgunned, but they had something the Narek didn't understand: the human spirit that never gives up. "Now," Ta shouted. Minna threw a small device that released a high-pitched sound. The Narek soldiers immediately clutched their ear openings in pain. Tai and his team charged forward, firing their weapons. In the confusion, Minna slipped past the guards toward the control panel. She had memorized June's instructions on how to disable the weapon. "Stop her," Hannah shouted, recovering faster than her guards. Tay tackled Hannah, giving Minna the time she needed. They crashed to the floor, human and alien locked in combat. Hannah was stronger, but Tay fought with the knowledge that failure meant Earth's destruction. Around them, the battle raged. Human fighters fell, but took Nerek guards with them. The weapon's whine grew louder as it reached final charging stage. Minna reached the main control panel and began entering the shutdown codes June had provided. A guard spotted her and raised his weapon, but was shot down by one of Ta's team. "Hurry," Ta shouted as Hannah threw him against a wall. Minna's fingers flew over the alien controls. Almost there. Suddenly, the room's door slid open. June entered, followed by Dai and more human fighters. "Commander Hannah," June said, "the High Command has received my report on your illegal use of the destroyer. They have ordered you to stand down." "Traitor," Hannah spat. "You side with these primitives against your own kind." "I side with life," June replied calmly. "Our mission was conquest, not extinction." At that moment, Minna finished entering the shutdown code. The weapon's glow dimmed, then faded completely. Warning alarms stopped. Emergency lights turned green. "Weapon system disabled," an automated voice announced in the Nerek language. Hannah screamed in rage and lunged at Minna, but Tai intercepted her. They struggled, but this time Tai was ready. Using a fighting move he had learned specifically for the Nerek's body structure, he flipped Hannah onto her back. Dad quickly secured her with restraints. The remaining Nerek guards, seeing their commander captured and the weapon disabled, lowered their weapons and surrendered. Over the next few days, a remarkable thing happened. With June's help, humans established direct communication with the Nerek High Command. Reports from across Earth showed human forces had successfully attacked Nerek bases worldwide, capturing many and destroying others. Faced with mounting losses and the failure of their planet killer weapon, the Nerek High Command made an unprecedented decision. For the first time in their long history of conquest, they would withdraw from a planet. 1 month later, Ta, Mina, and Dai stood on a hill overlooking Seoul as the last Nerek ships left Earth's atmosphere. "I never thought I'd see this day," Dai said quietly. Mina smiled. Humans 1, aliens 0. June, who had chosen to stay behind as a liaison, stood with them. "The High Command has classified Earth as extremely dangerous. No contact authorized. Your world is now protected by its reputation. What will you do now?" Tai asked him. "Help rebuild what my people destroyed," Jun replied. "And learn from humans. You have much to teach us." As the sun set on a free Earth, Ta looked at the stars and felt not fear, but hope. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge and survived. With the advanced technology left behind by the Nerek, a new age of human development would begin. In a distant part of the galaxy, a report about Earth reached another alien species. Most read the warning to stay away with caution. But one curious explorer looked at images of the small blue planet and its resilient inhabitants and thought, "I wonder what makes these humans so special." Some lessons, it seemed, would have to be learned the hard way. The end.